first ones to my very first live. I'm super excited, but I'm also a little bit nervous. So I'm going to slur my speech. I'm going to misspeak. I'm going to not look directly at the camera. And hopefully I won't miss too many of your comments because I'm out here right in front of my fig tree. And matter of fact, I can't even see your comments right now. But welcome everyone. I guess starting out a live, a few things I want to say. When I first started my YouTube channel, I had different people say, what differentiates you? Hey, Psalms 146, J3GS Farm. Anyway, what makes me different? What makes me special? And the more I think about it, I'm like, I'm just like you guys. Who else is there? Buddha supporters? Anyway, what makes me special? I'm just like you guys. I'm just a guy that's growing food for his family. I've had plenty of success, like this fig tree I'm standing in front of. This is probably the biggest fig tree you're going to see on YouTube. It is huge, about the size of a close to a two-story house, and it's as wide as a two-car garage. So it's huge, and that was a great success. But I've had failures. I've had seeds that have failed. Hey, Freshman Fire, Prepper Rookie. I've had seeds that have failed. I've had plants, trees that died. Recently, I had a tree that I had in a pot in my greenhouse. Hey, Carol. I had a tree in my greenhouse that I put in there because one of my dogs who's out here ripped the first one out of the ground when I planted it. So it was a failure. So I took the new tree that I bought, put it in my greenhouse, left it in there for a year because I'm trying to get it big enough so he won't destroy it. Hey, Miss T, thank you very, very, very much for the introduction and pass off. So I had it in the greenhouse for about a year, and it had gotten big enough, thick enough to figure, okay, he's not going to be able to rip the top off of the tree. So I'm trying to take the pot out of the greenhouse, and I realized the roots had grown directly into the ground. It had gone through the little holes in the pot, and it took me about a half an hour to cut those roots and drag that tree out of my greenhouse. And I don't know if the tree is going to survive because it looks like it went through major shock, but that's the story for the spring. We'll see what happens. So that's who I am. I've been gardening for 30 years, and the thing about me, I'm frugal. I'm not cheap. I'm frugal. My wife might say cheap, but we can talk about that later. LGG, welcome in. So I'm not cheap. I'm frugal. Also, I'm patient. And recently, I was rewarded for my patience. Two things happened. Number one, I finally got partially monetized. I had a video that hit and ran and ran and ran, and it hit hard. It put me at my 3,000 hours, and now it's put me at about 3,600 hours. So I'm happy about being partially monetized, but I'm hoping to get fully monetized soon. Hopefully my next video or two will get me there. And a word of encouragement for everyone that's doing videos, because it's not just, I know there are other gardeners that are watching this that aren't YouTubers, but I know a lot of YouTubers are in here. Hey, LCD, you're like me. I might have a little bit of OCD. So, where was I? I'm patient, I'm frugal, and I was blessed with being monetized. And that video has pushed me to about 3,600 hours. It did really well. It did about 800 hours. So, and then for encouragement, if you're doing videos and you feel like you're not making those big strides, keep doing videos. Keep doing your thumbnails. Look at what your title is. Do what you need to do to get that big video. I had another video this year which did 1,000 hours. You know, It works, but I was being consistent. Last October, I was at 300 subs, about 150 watch hours. I made a commitment to do videos, be consistent, as consistent as I can be because I work. As a matter of fact, right now I'm on my lunch break. But be consistent, do videos, keep trying, do research. Do what you need to do to find that success. I'm sorry if my hands are shaking a little bit there. So anyway, so that's part of why I'm doing this video. I told myself that I would start doing lives once to get at least partially monetized, but there's something else. Think about being patient and being blessed sometimes. If you're patient, the blessings will come if you work at it. So recently, and this will be, I'm trying to keep this story short. My wife and I saw an ad on Nextdoor for a garage sale. I do a little camping, so I'm like, oh, camping gear. So I went to the first house, and first house said no camping gear. They're like, well, maybe the lady next door has it. So I went over there, and sure enough, she had a little bit of camping gear. But as I'm talking to her, I look into the first house's backyard, and I see something I've been wanting for years. As a gardener, I feel it's something that I wanted, something I needed, and this was the day I had to have it. And so what I did is, I was like, oh, that's something I would really love to have. And the lady I was talking to was like, well, go over and make them an offer. They might be willing to sell it to you because they're moving in with their son. So I wrapped up my business with her, bought a few things, and I went to the neighbor's house and with my business card in hand, about to tell them, hey, give me a call if you're ever interested. And when I told them what I was interested in, the man on the porch was like, sure, let me talk to my dad, but first, let's go take a look at it. And this is what I saw. These rain barrels. I've been needing these for years. But I'm frugal, not cheap. But he had these back there. I got these. These are 55-gallon or 60-gallon rain barrels. Normally, these would retail for about 100, 110, maybe 120, if you get good ones. I bought all four of these. I bought his whole setup with the stand here, tons of piping for $300. Now, I know I'm frugal, and that may not seem like, that might be seem like I overpaid for it, but like I said, I'm frugal. And that's 220 gallons of water, free water. But let me tell you, I might be overexcited about this, but that's because, well, it might seem like I'm overexcited about it, but that's because you aren't seeing what I'm seeing. When I said I bought him his entire setup, this is what I'm seeing. Yeah, I got this 275-gallon water containment unit and those 4 water containers there. I set them right over here by next to the house. My garden's to my right, maybe 20 feet. So, yeah, $300. Still, you know how I mentioned that I'm frugal? Well, I felt a little guilty because I spent the money. I'm walking through the yard now, so pardon me if the sun's in my face or I'm a dark shadow. And I felt a little guilty about spending the money because my wife and I had just gone to Hawaii earlier this year. It cost a fortune, but we've talked about it for years and years and years. We've been married over 30 years. And this was our bucket list trip. And we want to do this trip before we're ready to kick the bucket. So, Illis Lady Lock, welcome in. Sorry if I missed anybody. It's kind of hard for me to see the screen. So, like I was saying, yes, I'm frugal. Not cheap, but there's something else that people are missing. When I said I bought his entire unit setup, yeah, I got this too. Another 270 gallons of water. Now this is on my other side of my yard, not too far from my greenhouse and my strawberry patch. Rob in the garden, welcome. Yeah, so I've partially set it up. I cut the gutter. I bought this to help direct the water into this, but it had this little, I'm not gonna swear, this little freaking pipe. This water's draining from that into that. I was like, no, let me just go direct, because this thing here allows water to go into the pipe, but also a lot of water goes straight through. So into this really. But I went on and bought this because we're going to get rain tomorrow. I want this thing filled up. I figured a big pipe just directly in right now is fine. So yeah, that's why I'm excited. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to do this live. I told myself that I didn't want to just do a live because, well, hey, I think I see some money in the chat. Thank you. I can't say you can see who sent it, but I see a little money in the chat. Thank you very much. That, unless there was other money coming in, that's my first money coming in. Thank you very, very, very much. So, yeah, LGG, that was an incredible buy. And like I said, I felt a little guilty, but the more I thought about it, the more I was like, you know what? I work hard for a living. This water is going to, these containment units are going to pay for themselves easily in the first summer. If not, because I'm gardening all winter long. So for me, it's a win-win. And considering how the initial thing, he had it set up, I wish I'd taken a picture, because right now with all those pipes from the first setup, I'm not sure how I'm going to do it. But being frugal me, what I may do, I don't necessarily feel that I need the rain barrels. I need the main big containers. In order to save myself some time and frustration, I might sell the smaller barrels, 100, 200 bucks, and that will get my cost down to about $100. Thinking about it, like I said, I'm not cheap, I'm frugal, and I try to make a way, because God will make a way, and I figure I need to work with him to make a way. Consider it, having completely decided, there's no rush. I'll be getting rain tomorrow. Hopefully I'll be able to get both of those main containers filled up. I don't know if I said Teagsy before, because, hey, I'm a little nervous. I did take some notes. I cheated, yeah. What else was I supposed to say? I think I hit on most of my main points. Hey, if you guys get a chance, please take a look. If you want a water containment unit, take a look at homes that are being sold. I was visiting my sister about a month ago, and her neighbor just put her house up for sale. I know she has a greenhouse back there. I know she has a water containment system back there, because I saw, because my sister was being nosy, on Zillow, pictures of around the house, and yeah, there's a water containment unit much like what I have. But I didn't know the neighbor, didn't get a chance to talk to him, and then I ran into this sale here. So this is in Georgia, North Georgia. There's a lot of Georgia gardeners in here. I know there's probably a couple Texas gardeners in here. I always watch CC's and David Corey with the crop. There's a lot of farmers or gardening people that I watch. Zone, well, I'll give you my grow zone. I'm in grow zone 8A. How's that? That should be close enough. Can't give out the zip code, but I'm in zone 8A. I've heard different people say that because you're on YouTube and because there are trolls, because there are a lot of crazy people out there, you only want to give so much information as far as where you are. So zone 8A in Georgia. So if you ever watch my videos trying to figure out if you can grow what I'm growing, If you're in my zone or close to my zone, you can probably grow it. And just for those of you who are considering growing a fall garden, I always do a fall garden. I always do a fall garden, and my last video was top 10 items to grow in November. There are things that will grow and last throughout the winter. Some you might have to harvest in a month. There's some beets you can harvest, or radish you can harvest in a month. So I don't know what my dogs are doing. Oh, he looks like he's trying to get to my persimmons. These are two of my normal stars. This is Prince. Hey, Prince. This is Bear. He's the one that destroyed two brand new fruit trees that I ordered. So, and he's the one that barks in my videos generally. And this here, I'm not doing a garden tour right now. I will be doing probably one maybe this weekend. This is one of my prized trees, my persimmon tree. Loaded. And Prince just grabbed himself a persimmon. Okay. Okay. I was afraid that I was going to lose a lot of this fruit down here earlier this year because this branch broke. Yeah, all that. And that happened probably about 2 months ago. It still had plenty of fruit on it, but I was thinking, I was thinking that the tree would lose its fruit, but it went from being green to this beautiful fruit. Although I must admit, some of these do look a little weird. I had some that had, see that little nip thing there? I don't know what it is, but they started looking a little weird. A couple of them looked like they had breasts. I'm just being honest. And the ladder's here to help keep that branch off the ground. When the branch broke, I had a pallet. I stuck it here to help prevent it from just completely falling down. But the fruit is fantastic. It's one of my favorite fruit trees because I get fruit late in the season. I mean, I know a lot of citrus fruit. Hey, David, what's going on? Welcome in. Odom's Homestead, welcome in. Thanks for stopping by. It's a sweet fruit. I love it. Not everyone in my family loves it, but hey, more for me. I just like having late fruit in the year because we know what they're putting in the grocery stores. And that's another reason why I grow food. I know the food in the grocery store is sold, grown for uniformity. They want a certain size, certain look, certain color. Ugly carrots never make it to the grocery store. I grow ugly carrots and they taste fantastic. I eat some, I juice some. The juice is sweeter than what I've ever had from the grocery store. And I made a comparison. Recently I juiced some carrots. They tasted great. I juiced my own carrots. I juiced some carrots from the grocery store. They tasted fine, but they weren't great because of what they're doing with the food. That's the persimmon tree that broke. But hey, it's doing well. I might take one of these branches and do a cutting or air layer. We'll have to see. May do that in the spring. But what they're doing, oh, happy birthday, David. I know it's coming up. I'm not sure if it's today or is it Monday. So yeah, what they're doing with the food is just dangerous. I don't use pesticides. I grow enough food that the pests can have some, but I'm going to get most of them. The squirrels don't eat my persimmons, at least not that I've seen. I've heard people mention that squirrels get to it, but my dogs are generally out here. At least during the day, not all night, because I can't stand the barking at cats and squirrels and what cats and dogs and people walking past. No, I need sleep. So, grow your own food. You know what they're doing with the stuff in the grocery stores. I'm not going to call it poison. but it's just not right what they're doing with it. Grow some food for flavor. You notice I said they're growing it for uniformity, they're growing it for looks, they're growing it so that it can withstand the shipping. They're growing it so that it can be in the grocery store for a longer period of time and doesn't go bad. But what are they doing to the fruit and vegetables to make them last that long? Well, they're doing something that's not natural. My food's all natural. It's rare that I've ever had to put anything on it aside from fertilizer. Aside from that, I did use some organic, quote unquote, organic weed killer not weed killer, organic pesticide on a fruit tree that was getting killed. But currently, I have some cabbage in my garden that's having some issues. So I'm going to look out for some cabbage worms or cabbage moths, whatever I can do to get rid of those things without having to put a bunch of chemicals on them. So do what you can, do your best. And I'm not sure if there's much else I need to say. But once again, thank you very, very, very. I'm touched that all these folks came by to visit me. I don't feel that I'm special, but we're all special in our own way. And for you YouTubers, there are 120 million people on YouTube every day. Find your people. You don't have to be for everybody, but find your people or do videos to make your people find you, because you're valuable, you're special. If they've never seen you, you're special. So do your thing. And of course, if you've seen my videos to the very end, oh, I forgot, please hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, share this video out, come back and visit. Please don't, and I don't want to say this the wrong way, but please don't just subscribe. Come back and visit. I'm going to be here. I want you here. Because if you subscribe and don't visit, you aren't helping yourself. I'm trying to help you a little bit. But when you go to the channel, if you subscribe, pay them some visits. Let a video play, even if you don't watch the video. If you go to someone's channel and you're trying to give them some support, just let the video play and do your dishes. Let the video play and take a shower. I listen to videos all the time, and sometimes I'm on the treadmill. I find ways to support a lot of these content creators in the chat. So thank you very much for showing. Sorry if I didn't acknowledge everyone. And as I was about to say, if you've ever been to my videos and watched to the very end, you know one thing I love to say. I'm going to end it on that. Now let's get out there and get a little dirty. Yeah.